Okay, so how do we create a wood material in Corona Renderer? So I'm using Corona 13 hotfix 1. So let's open a material editor. Let's drag a Corona physical material in. This is the new physical material because previously we used to have legacy material. Now find a seamless wood texture. It could be a JPEG. I would recommend using JPEGs, no PNGs, no OpenEXRs. JPEG is fine, as you can see here. Then first things what we want to do is I would recommend to use textures from 2000 pixels and above. From 2000 to 4000 pixels is more than enough. Change this in filtering to sum the area and put this to point. I would recommend to put from 0.3 to 0.8, something like that. That usually removes quite a lot of blurriness in the texture. So then what I would recommend to always plug into color correction. There we go. Even if you don't want to correct the material and you like the wood texture, or not the texture, but the hue. So for example, you're happy with the hue because you can make this, more reddish, more bluish, whatever. Usually with the wood, I usually go either a little bit of reddish or either a little bit towards the yellowish, right? So let's just say I'm happy with that. I'm going to put 0 here. I'm going to plug it into the base. Okay, so you have your generic material here. By default, Corona puts this to 0.75. If you put 0, that's going to be fully reflective. If you put 1, that's going to be fully matte, right? So I wouldn't go 1 or 0. So you want to something like, I don't know, if you want more something glossy, something like that, I will apply this to my dummy ball there. I'm just going to check the there you go. So it looks unwrapped, it looks okay. So ideally what we're gonna get now, if I'm gonna press render, we're gonna get a little bit of the reflection glossiness there. It's called roughness now. So if I'm just gonna move this a little bit towards the right side and zoom out, as you can see, this is roughly how it works. So if you put 0, it's going to be fully reflective. As you can see, it's very, very shiny, and you can put 0.7. It's going to be very, very matte, right? So in this case, I'm going to put 0.5. I'm going to change the IOR to 1.6. So it's going to be a little bit more reflective on the sides. So if you increase this number to 3, for example, it's going to be very shiny, more like a metally effect. Now this is not metal, we're not changing this to metal, so because this is wood, we're working with non-metal mode there, right? So with non-metal mode, you can increase this number maximum to 3. Okay, so for wood, I would use 1.6 or 1.8. That's more than enough. Okay, so for the bump map, so this is a very simple approach. You can literally shift drag right on the bottom here with your mouse and plug this into the base roughness. So basically it's going to take the black and white. So basically it's going to look at this like this, right? So if I desaturate this is how it's going to see it. Even if it has color, it's going to be exactly the same result, right? So, but usually this is what he sees. The base roughness doesn't take color information in. So basically with this type of workflow, you can go to advanced and then let's just say put 50. The more you put, the more you make it blacker. So for example, 20, 10 is going to become more blacker. So that's the reflection is going to be more glossy, right? If I'm going to put 200, as you can see how matte it is. But the thing is now how it works is that all of these black and white crevices, all of these, this texture is going to take into consideration, right? So if I'm going to zoom in here, and if I'm going to keep increasing this to 250, you can see that some areas are more reflective than others. So this is where you put the map in, okay? So if I'm going to go to the material here, and if I'm going to go straight down and base roughness, this is my map. As you can see, this is the map. So if I'm going to put this to 50, that means that I'm blending 50% of this and 50% of this value here. All right. So if I'm going to go 0.3, right? So it's going to be more glossy, but then it's going to take into consideration the base roughness, which is this map right here, right? So you're going to be basically mixing in regards to the overall glossiness and the map glossiness. Now, another part you can do, you can increase the bump, right? So let's just say you want more bump on it, like here. You would see the bump here, probably. So you can easily plug this into the base map here. Something like that. And as you can see now, now be very careful with bump maps, because usually, especially if you're rendering like a 5K or 6K image, if you overdo the bump value, which is here, it becomes very rough and kind of like ugly looking like that. So you want to be gentle on the bump map, right? Especially if you're rendering this at 6K or 5K interior visualizations, etc. You want to kind of be very subtle on the bump map, right? So this is basically it. You don't really need to, sometimes, usually in most cases, in a new looking interior like scenes, I don't even use the bump map. You don't really need the bump map because it's an extra calculation for the rendering engine, right? All the crevices, etc. But usually what I do use is obviously the diffuse, and I use this as a base roughness and mix. Usually I mix this by 20, 50%. It depends, right? It depends what you're trying to achieve here, right? But basically the setup is very simple here, as you can see. So basically, if you have a decent size material here, you can literally extract and use the color. So for example, now I want, let's just say, a little bit more yellowish, right? There you go. Maybe I want it darker, right? So I'm going to go here to contrast, put 0.7, for example, right? So as you can see, the wood is changing quite dramatically now. Boom. I'm going to go 50. There we go. So as you can see now, it's starting to clean up a little bit more. And as you can see, that bump map is really starting to pop out, right? So this is roughly the setup that I use this technique. I've been doing this for over 15 years now, V-Ray and Corona. I'm using this technique in my day-to-day projects all the time. This is mainly it. Now, the second approach, which is a little bit more complex. So for example, let's just say you have a little bit more complex material. You downloaded it from Polygon Textures, or you have normal maps, roughness maps, etc. So for example, I'm gonna create a new material, which is gonna be Corona physical material here again, and I'm gonna now import a variation of a map. So for example, let me check 23. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to import something like this, right? And if I'm going to plug this into color correction, so this is the albedo pass. I'm going to plug it into color correction. Let me just check if it's seamless, because I'm not sure. So I'm going to apply this on my wood material here. And it does look like it's seamless. I don't see any seams. Now I have one seam there because that's how I unwrapped it. But in general, as you can see, this is a seamless bitmap, right? And it looks quite cool. It looks like a rustic material. Now, so basically how you would approach this, I'm just going to delete this color correction for now. So so this is the albedo, right? This is the ambient occlusion. Usually they call this AO. Okay, so I'm going to expand these guys. Then what you want to do is, it's up to you. You can use Corona Mix or Multiply. I usually like to use Multiply, which is, where is it? Multiply. I'm getting blind. So if we're using V-Ray, sorry, if you're using Corona Mix, we can use Corona Mix. It doesn't really matter. So plug this into top, plug this into the base, right? And then you multiply. So basically what's happening is this map is overlaying this map, and you're getting this a little bit more depth into the blacks, right? So let me just search this multiply. I think that's the one. That's the one. There you go. So vector, not vector, RGB multiply. There we go. No, that's not it. Oh my god, I'm sorry. My bad. So you have to use composite, not multiply. For some reason, I thought about multiply. So the another node is composite. So this works quite well because you can you can press plus here, and you can literally do the same. Plug into 1 and plug into 2. Forget about the mask, and then you go here, and on the top map you just press multiply, and actually this is going to be exactly the same approach, right? But if you want to use Corona Mix, please be my guest, right? So then you usually do the color correction because you want to have it, and plug it into the diffuse, right? So that's step 1. We can delete this if you want. I can keep it on the top, like either you use the composite or either you use Corona Mix and just choose multiply, right? So the second part is going to be, you want to have your normal map. So whenever you're going to import this bluish looking normal map, you're going to double click, you're going to go here, right? And you're going to press override gamma 1 because that's the correct representation of the normal map, right? And if you go to Corona normal, you plug it into the normal. And as you can see, you have here add gamma to input, right? So for example, you can be a little bit lazy and put this to automatic. And if you press add to gamma, this is going to convert for you automatically, right? So you're not going to need to go here and do it manually, putting one gamma here and pressing, OK. So we can do it this way as well. It's not a big deal. So we're going to plug this into the base bump. Okay. And then let's just say we have some kind of a bump map. To be honest, you can plug even this guy. So as you can see here, I have this actually is we're playing reflection, right? So with the reflection, now for the base roughness, it doesn't really matter. It depends what kind of effect you want to get. So for example, I'm going to take all of this and move down a little bit. So it doesn't really matter. It depends what you want to get, right? So at the moment, the glossiness, the roughness, so to say, it's even, right? We just have a number, right? If I'm going to do 0 here, as you can see, it's going to be completely glossy, and it's going to have this bump map now, as you can see, right? So if I'm going to keep this at 0.5, like it's quite rough, right? I'm gonna then import so I have, for example, this so this is, as you can see here, this dark map is called, this is glossiness, right? And this has reflection, right? So what you are aiming for is kind of something like this rather than this, because look what's gonna happen if I'm gonna plug this into the base roughness, right? It's gonna become very glossy, which obviously this wood attribute, this wood texture is just saying, I'm rough, right? I'm rough, god damn it. So you don't really want to use this, right? So for example, you could go crazy, right? And just apply color correction here, right? And you would go here and increase this number like 5, like crazy, right? Like crazy numbers. But the thing is, you don't have like, how should I say, you don't have like enough information or in general. So I would definitely recommend to probably use something in between there. And you can, by the way, don't forget to experiment a little bit, right? So experimentation is always a good thing in CGI world. So for example, let's just say I'm going to plug this here. So it's going to catch there. So, and then what I want to do is I want to go lighter, right? So let's just say I'm going to put 200 and then maybe 3 gamma. And as you can see how matte is becoming. So maybe that's a little bit too matte. I'm going to go 2. There we go. And then as always, I usually like to, because sometimes you're not necessarily you're going to like the result of the glossiness map or the roughness map. So you will probably go here and decrease this number base roughness. You're gonna blend in between your number here and there, right? So for example, I can go here and put 6, which is gonna become more matte, right? As you can see there. So that's pretty much it for a more complex material. So usually you will have a diffuse, an albedo, you will have an ambient occlusion. You're going to use some kind of a composite or corona mixed with multiply. You're going to check it into the color corrections just in case you will want to, you know, change the wood a little bit. Maybe you will want to, you know, darker or more reddish, etc. Right? And then you will have your normal map, plug it into Corona Normal and check the add gamma to input, or just choose one there. And of course, for the reflections or for the base roughness, it's up to you what you want to find. You can even, if you want, duplicate this guy, right? Place it in the base roughness, right? And just go here and you can do kind of the same thing. If I'm going to go lighter, it's become more matte, right? So 5. You can see how it works, right? So roughly that's how you control a little bit of a more complex material. But the thing is, with this material here, with the, you know, normals, etc., it just sometimes takes a little bit, you know, too long to set it up. So usually my go-to is you have one good map of a wood texture, which is, you know, if you can get it seamless, so no seams. You plug it into color correction, you plug it into color correction here, you plug it into base rough, control that, and for the base bump, usually I don't use the bump, and it works like a charm. If you're creating always like new looking like interiors, etc., or even exteriors, which usually is the case, you're rarely going to be using all of these nodes, right? Because keep in mind, the more nodes you plug in, the obviously the longer the calculation is going to be, right? So yeah, that's pretty much a wood material with the new Corona renderer. I'm using Max 2024. And if you're wondering, at this moment, I'm using ACS OT output, not output, sorry, ACS profile at 1. And that's pretty much it.